So Josh Marshall, one of David's managers, has actually spoken out through the comment section of a TikTok video. And he made it very clear that all of the allegations that are circulating about him knowing anything, about him being involved in anything, is completely untrue and fabricated. He said, "This has been a tough time for my family as I am a father of 3 children. I received no emails and I am no one's roommate. I live full-time at home with my wife and kids. My daughter is 14 and this news is affecting so many lives. I never received any emails. I had zero knowledge of anything and I don't live in California. Also, I work remotely 95% of the time and my job doesn't require me to have much interaction with any of my clients." He mentions David's name and said that there's many others who work with him on a day-to-day capacity, but not him. He said, "This news is tragic for so many and for her family. I hope the proper authorities get to the bottom of it soon. Let me remind people, a lot of this is speculation and alleged. In the meantime, I am with my family helping them emotionally get through the news of this tragedy."
So, Josh Marshall, one of David's managers, apparently decided TikTok comments are the new courtroom. He jumps in under some random video and says, "No, not me. I'm innocent. I know nothing. I'm not anybody's roommate, and for the record, I live at home with my wife and kids." He even threw in the dad card. "I have 3 children, one's 14. This news is hurting my family." Look, maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe he isn't. But one thing's clear. When managers start clearing their name in TikTok comments, the whole story's already spiraled into chaos. And then, out of nowhere, Harvey Levin, yes, the TMZ guy himself, walks into the conversation. And you already know, when Harvey sticks his nose into a case, it's because something about it doesn't add up. And honestly, he's right. Because David's car, the Tesla, at the center of this mess, suddenly doesn't look like the airtight cover-up vehicle everyone thought it was. Here's the rundown. August 26th, neighbors report the car. August 27th, it gets ticketed. September 3rd, still sitting there. September 5th, finally towed. But here's the kicker. David left for tour on August 5th. That means his Tesla was gathering dust for weeks while he was miles away on stage. Unless the guy's pulling double duty as a touring musician and a Hollywood villain, the timeline's not looking so airtight.
Look at what David's done. He's written a song called Romantic Homicide. He's got this imagery with a shirt, right? He wrote a song about being obsessed with Celeste, right? People saw him with Celeste. What if, and I don't know, somebody said, what a great way of framing David.
Now, let's not kid ourselves. People say, well, if he did it, why would he leave her in his car for 2 weeks? The obvious answer, because rookie criminals are careless. Ask any cop. First-timers make the dumbest mistakes. Leaving someone in your own trunk isn't even that rare. But even then, something's off. Because if Celeste really sat in that trunk for 2 weeks in the California heat, everyone on Doroni Drive should have been gagging. Decomposition doesn't stay quiet. It screams with smell. Yet the neighbor who reported the car only mentioned a tinted window. No smell, no nothing. Which either means she wasn't there that whole time, or someone wanted it to look like she was.
Hey, I want to open a can of worms here. By the way, we are working on something that could be really interesting. But I will tell you this. There is an impound report that shows that the car that had Celeste's body in it, that was parked on Doheny Drive, was first ticketed for being there. See, I thought it was going to be a few days before September 5th when it was towed. It was there since August 26th when it was first ticketed. And if it was ticketed, it must have been there even before that. So it seems like that car was parked on that street for 2 weeks. Let me tell you why that's significant. I lived on that street, on Doheny Drive. I don't anymore, but I did for a long time. And Doheny Drive is a residential street in the Hollywood Hills, but it is a well-trafficked street. A lot of people go up and down that Doheny Drive. And especially where that car was found. I am guessing, I don't know, but it was ticketed twice. And because I know that area. And when the street cleaner comes, if you keep your car there on street cleaning day, they'll ticket you. So I'm guessing that the 2 tickets were for street cleaning. So I think the car had to be there for at least 2 weeks. So the question, how is that car sitting there for 2 weeks? Was it sitting there with a body for 2 weeks? David left for tour August 5th. So let me just make an argument to you. Because I know a lot of you think, well, the walls are closing in on David, and David seems to be what you think is the suspect. The police have not named him as such. But here's the thing about that. If you were David, look at what David's done. He's written a song called Romantic Homicide. He's got this imagery with a bloody shirt, right? He wrote a song about being obsessed with Celeste, right? People saw him with Celeste, right? Mm-hmm. They saw him with Celeste, right? And what if, and I don't know, somebody said, what a great way of framing David. What a great way of framing David, that you put a body of this girl that he was dating in his car and leave it there to get towed with all that evidence. Young Jackson is nodding yes.
I am nodding yes because this has been my theory for like the past week, and I've had people call me crazy. There is such a short window of time to where he could have killed her, dismembered her body, and left for tour.
He was gone August 5th.
He wasn't in the city. He wasn't in the city.
But here's the thing. Think about if he did it. You're going to leave a body in your car on a street for 2 weeks knowing eventually it's going to...
And then the internet did what the internet does best, went full detective mode. A random Reddit user posts that he found a Tesla keycard under some leaves near David's house. Instantly, half the comments screamed, "Proof David's guilty." The other half, "Proof someone's framing him." Reality check, it proves absolutely nothing. LAPD already swept his property. You think they missed the keycard line in plain sight? Please, that's not a smoking gun. That's a Reddit clout post. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Even if David sidesteps the charge, he's already guilty of something else. Being a grown man in the orbit of a 13-year-old. And no, the "she lied about her age" excuse doesn't fly. At some point, he knew. At some point, everybody knew. His own entourage thought she was his girlfriend. Let that sink in. Not a fan, not a tag-along, but girlfriend. That's not miscommunication. That's predatory. And this is where the OD theory comes in. Because honestly, it fits. Picture it. David goes on tour, Celeste stays with his crew, substances are everywhere, and something goes horribly wrong. She overdoses. Panic sets in. Instead of calling 911, someone stuffs her in David's car, figuring the blame would fall on him anyway. It explains why the body wasn't hidden properly, why the car was just sitting there, and why the smell didn't match up. It also explains why this case feels so sloppy. Because maybe David didn't do it at all. Maybe his people set him up. But let's be clear, that doesn't make him innocent. You don't get brownie points for not being a killer if you were still playing house with a kid. And this is why David looks like the perfect fall guy. He wrote songs like Romantic Homicide. He posed in bloody shirts. He made his obsession with Celeste part of his image. So if you wanted to frame him, it's almost too easy. You don't even have to plant evidence. His whole vibe is evidence. Now, TMZ's Harvey made one point that actually stinks. If David didn't do it, then this is one of the cleanest setups anyone's ever pulled, because the car, the timeline, the imagery, the music, the relationship, it all paints him guilty by default. But that's only because of the situation he created. Nobody forced him to hang out with a 13-year-old. Nobody told him to write love songs about her. That's all him. And let's not forget the detail that keeps everyone stuck. Celeste's autopsy. No blunt force trauma, no stab wounds, no obvious signs of violence, which leaves one thing: toxicology. Until those results drop, nobody actually knows how she died. And that's why this whole case feels like it's dragging in circles. Homicide, overdose, setup, every theory is still on the table. But here's where it gets depressing. Even if the toxicology proves David didn't do it, he still doesn't walk away clean, because he was still a grown man around a kid. People in his circle thought they were dating, and that's the kind of thing you don't wash off. Courtroom or no courtroom, his career is already dead. And honestly, so is his reputation. And yet, the circus keeps spinning. Reddit threads, Discord screenshots, blurry photos, alleged text, most of it's legally worthless. Half of it is hearsay. The police haven't even called it a homicide investigation yet, and David hasn't been arrested, which is why some people are convinced he might actually walk away with a light sentence, maybe even no homicide charge at all. But light sentence doesn't mean free pass, because when you're a millionaire grown man caught up with a 13-year-old, you don't bounce back, ever. Even Aiden Ross weighed in. He was on a call with Charleston White, who tried to defend David with one of the weakest takes of all time. How can you prove they were having relations? Aiden's response, perfect. So what? They were just playing Fortnite? That's it. That's the only response. You don't need courtroom evidence to know a grown man hanging around a middle schooler is disgusting. Whether they did something or not, the vibe alone is damning.
Okay, but Unc, what about the vivid video of him and the 13-year-old linking up?
So, how can we prove they had sexual intercourse?
What were they doing, Unc? Playing Fortnite, bro? Come on.
No, listen. Me and you know that. The police know that.
Oh, I see. You're talking about the police. How do you prove it? I see.
So let's cut through all the noise. The tickets, the timeline, the Tesla, the Reddit theories, the overdose speculation. It all matters. But it doesn't erase the bigger picture, because no matter how you slice it, David put himself in this position. And whether courts say guilty or not guilty, the internet's already decided. His car may or may not prove a homicide, but his behavior already proved something worse, that he was comfortable being with a child. And that's why, at the end of the day, even if he somehow dodges a homicide charge, he's not dodging the fallout. His songs, his image, his career, they're finished. He doesn't need a judge to end his reputation. He already did that himself. So when people ask, do you think he did it? The real question is, does it even matter? Because guilty or not, David's name is never coming back from this. But hey, that's my take. Now I want to hear yours. Do you think David is actually guilty? Or is he just the easiest fall guy the internet's ever seen? Drop your thoughts down below and let's see how messy this gets. And if you made it this far, you already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and leave a comment. Because trust me, this story isn't done yet.